Hello everyone. I made a video about a week and a half ago and I was like, oh, no language goals in 2026. I'm just not feeling it. I'm not feeling the passion anymore. And then I read He Did Rivalry and I watched all the TikToks of Ilya speaking Russian and I was like, ooh, I'm feeling something again. I'm feeling things. So we're doing language learning goals for 2026 and this is that video. How these videos always work for me is I start out with year wrapped from 2025 or the year prior, and then I talk goals for the next year, so 2026. And the wrapped for 2025 is pretty abysmal. So 2025 I got into Anki. I had heard of it 1,000 times in like learning based spaces, but I didn't really get into it until after I read Fluent Forever. It was, that guy loves the spaced repetition system. And I was like, oh, Anki will work. It's ugly. It is ugly. So also, I was gonna stick with it even though it's ugly, but because of the spaced repetition. But then I was like, oh, I'm learning Russian, and I don't have a Russian keyboard, and I would have to figure out how the Russian keyboard works on my laptop, and seemed like a terrible amount of work. So back to Quizlet we go from whence we came. So hours wrapped really quick. I did 6.5 hours of Spanish, 6 hours and 36 minutes to be specific. French, I did 3 hours and 46 minutes. And then Italian, something that I picked up and dabbled in a little bit, I did 1 hour and 6 minutes. And I kind of gave up after that, after going really hard for like 2 months, January and then July. I don't think that it was my best year of language learning. I'm fine with whatever happened last year because I didn't really go into it with a great plan. Like, I always have a plan. There is a plan that exists, but the plan was kind of haphazard. There was no guardrails. There were no like regulatory lines, and I am a regulatory girl. I love regulation. I love a routine, and that is why 2026 is going to be the year. I say that every year, but it is going to be the year. I'm putting things in place to actually do shit this year. So I have like my list of like weekly tasks that I need to do, and every week I will open my little planner and I'll be like, oh, Russian video this day. Ooh, 2 French videos this day. 2 Spanish videos this day. Ooh, here's I'm gonna read a little children's book in French. Everything is in place. So in preparation for this video, I actually took some CEFR tests online. I questioned the accuracy of them, to be honest, because I scored much higher than expected. It said I was A2 in Spanish and then B1 in French. I don't think that's accurate because I haven't really touched either of those languages for like 6 months, and that seems wrong. I'm 100% sure that that Spanish score is way too high. I think that Spanish is probably close to A1, and I'm probably a high A2 for French. But that brings me to our goals for 2026. I set no hourly goals for this year. Whatever is, and it's gonna be less about numbers and more about actual like skill and quality. To summarize the goals for 2026, we're doing French, Spanish, and Russian. French, I would like to get to a B1 again. That shouldn't be terribly difficult. I think I will be able to get to that by the end of the year. I want to read 5 children's books because I need to get my reading back up. I want to finish the French Essentials course from Learn French with Alexa. And I want to watch all of Easy French's videos in slow French, and then French for Beginners A1. And I want to take physical notes and all of that, like in addition to Quizlet and stuff. Now for Espanol, that was a terrible accent. I am a gringa to my core. I want to get to B1 in Spanish as well, and I want to read 3 children's books in Spanish, much more like focused on like a course and then videos in Spanish. So I want to watch all of Easy Spanish's Super Easy Spanish Grammar and Vocab Explained, Spanish A1 for absolute beginners, and then Spanish A2, Spanish for just beginners. And then there's actually a course I want to take. There is this program called Mango Languages. You can access it through your library if your library subscribes to it. My library does, and they actually offer a course called Mango Languages Spanish for Librarians, and I'm a librarian. So it's like it's like vocabulary and grammar you need to engage with your patrons. And that is like at my core what I really want to do, because to me, Spanish is less about like Russian and French. I'm more like, I want to be able to consume art and literature, and stuff like that, and like videos. For me, Spanish is a very utilitarian language. I want to be able to speak it so that I can speak to other people, because there is like a significant Spanish speaking population in my area, and I want to be able to help them if they come in and they don't speak English. I'd like to be able to speak enough Spanish to assist them. So I'm looking forward to doing that course. Finally, Ruski, Russian. I would like to get to A1. I know that's a very low goal, but Russian is hard. Russian is hard. So basically, if you haven't read Heated Rivalry, it's this gay hockey book, and it's like there's a TV show, it's a whole thing, and one of the characters, the main male characters, is from Russia. His name is Ilya Rozanov, and he does this whole monologue in Russian in the book. It's not written out in the book, but in the show he does speak it, and damn if I don't want to be able to understand that monologue in its like native language, like no, not with the subtitles. Also, of course, one of my coworkers is from Russia. I'd like to be able to like practice with her. And then there's a big Hiska-Turk population in my area, and they all speak Russian. So I would like to be able to speak to them too if they came in and needed help. But mostly because of Heated Rivalry, as embarrassing as that is. Same way that when I was in high school, I watched Les Mis, and I was like, ooh, I want to learn French. And that has spawned a love of French that has followed me to my late 20s. So 10 years. Actually, I think this year's 10 years of French for me, which is terrifying. And maybe I should be better than I am. Back to Russian. One of my goals for the year, I want to learn the Cyrillic alphabet and be able to handwrite it, like in cursive. I have several videos saved to my watch later to learn this. I'm hoping to do that in January, so we start off with a bang. And then, this is a biggie. There's this course called Russian with Nastya. Learn Russian in 365 days. There is like a zillion videos on this playlist. I want to watch 52 of them. So one a week. All right, those are the language learning goals for the year. I hope to do some language learning vlogs this year. What are your language learning goals for the year? 2026, big year, big year. What are you looking to accomplish? Are you learning a new language? Are you sticking with old ones? Are you looking to dabble? What is your situation? Also ignore these bangs. I cut them like in the middle of the night, literally midnight, a couple days ago, and they are cute in some moments, and then sometimes I'm like, oh, what have I done? What have I wrought? But yeah, let me know what your language learning goals are for 2026 and what your situation is. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you very soon. Bye!